The Persian Gulf is eerily quiet. For decades, Bahrain's port was a symbol of American naval dominance, home to the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet. Now the harbor stands empty. The ships have left, not in retreat, but as a calculated move. This is a message to adversaries, especially Iran. The U.S. is shifting its strategy. The absence of warships is more unsettling than their presence. Rising tensions and a shadow war with Iranian proxies have forced a change. Instead of clustering ships in one vulnerable spot, the Pentagon has dispersed them, making them harder to target and more agile. Intelligence warned of credible threats. Iranian leaders saw the fleet's concentration as a weakness. By moving out, the U.S. has forced Iran to rethink its plans. The silence in Bahrain is not peace, it's heightened alert. The calm water hides turbulent geopolitics. Fifth Fleet sailors are now constantly on the move, patrolling critical waterways, always ready. Their mission has changed, no longer anchored. They're the tip of the spear in a new, unpredictable era. The empty harbor is a warning, a quiet before a possible storm. This shift is about deterrence, not withdrawal. The U.S. is signaling unpredictability, making it harder for adversaries to plan. The move followed high-level meetings and urgent intelligence. The U.S. is adapting to a more dangerous, dynamic environment. For Iran, the game has changed. The target has vanished. For the U.S., mobility is now the key to power projection. The world is watching, uncertain what comes next. The silence is strategic, a prelude to whatever may follow. The Gulf holds its breath. The U.S. Navy's exit from Bahrain is a strategic redeployment, not just a move. Imagine a chessboard powerful pieces once clustered, now scattered across the region. Warships now patrol the Strait of Hormuz, Red Sea, and Arabian Sea, making them elusive targets. This dispersal turns a single, vulnerable fleet into many unpredictable threats. The new doctrine is dynamic force employment, keeping adversaries guessing. U.S. naval movements are now erratic and unannounced, a powerful deterrent. Iran and its proxies must now spend more resources tracking the fleet, increasing their risk. Dispersed ships can respond faster and from multiple directions, no longer bottled up. Aircraft carriers now have greater operational freedom, able to strike a wider area. Supply lines are more secure, away from narrow, monitored waters. The U.S. has traded the comfort of a fixed base for the advantage of mobility. The Fifth Fleet's headquarters remain in Bahrain, but its warships are always on the move. In an age of drones and long-range missiles, static bases are liabilities. By embracing unpredictability, the U.S. adapts to modern threats. The message: the U.S. won't be an easy target and can dominate the seas anywhere, anytime. This is the new face of American naval power. The U.S. military presence in the region is formidable. At its core, the aircraft carrier Strike Group, a floating airbase with over 75 aircraft, including FA-18 Super Hornets and electronic warfare planes. These carriers can launch sustained air campaigns from international waters. Escorting them are advanced cruisers and destroyers equipped with the Aegis combat system and Tomahawk missiles. These ships form a protective shield and deliver immense firepower. In the skies, B-52 and B-1B bombers fly in from distant bases, demonstrating global reach. Their presence is a visible warning. The U.S. can strike from afar. Aerial refueling planes extend the range of fighters and bombers. Spy planes and drones provide constant surveillance, tracking enemy movements and communications. This network of firepower and intelligence creates a powerful deterrent. The U.S. can respond rapidly to any threat anywhere in the region. The message is clear: escalation will be met with overwhelming force. The combination of visible might and unseen intelligence is designed to keep adversaries in check. The U.S. military is ready for any contingency. The U.S. has also surged ground forces across the Middle East. Thousands of additional troops, including air defense units and engineering units, have arrived to fortify bases and prepare for contingencies. Key bases in Kuwait, Qatar, and the UAE have been reinforced. A Marine Expeditionary Unit floats with the fleet, ready for rapid crisis response. This force is flexible, capable of everything from evacuations to assaults. The buildup serves two purposes: hardening defenses and increasing offensive options. Allies see reassurance, adversaries see a warning. The presence of more troops signals U.S. resolve. Boots on the ground are a tangible part of deterrence. Historically, a rapid U.S. military buildup in the Middle East signals major geopolitical shifts. Past buildups preceded the Gulf War and Iraq War, serving as both deterrent and preparation for action. Today's buildup is different. The goal is deterrence, not invasion. Force levels are significant, but not enough for a full-scale war with Iran. The focus is on countering Iran's strengths: navy, drones, missiles. Yet history warns that buildups can create their own momentum, increasing the risk of miscalculation. The line between deterrence and provocation is thin. Once forces are in place, pressure to use them grows. The deployment aims to keep the peace but could also spark the conflict it seeks to prevent. Washington's message is clear. The U.S. does not seek conflict with Iran, but will protect its interests. The Secretary of Defense calls the deployments prudent defensive measures to deter aggression. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs says repositioning forces changes the adversary's calculus. The goal ensures stability and raise the cost of hostile action. The White House links the buildup to safeguarding global shipping and economic security. Diplomacy is emphasized but backed by credible military deterrence. Official statements are crafted to project strength while leaving room for negotiation. Terms like prudent and defensive dominate the narrative. The U.S. frames itself as a responsible power maintaining order. Beneath the calm language is a message of resolve. The U.S. prefers peace but is fully prepared for war. The pieces are in place for any scenario. The world is meant to take notice. The Strait of Hormuz is the crisis's epicenter, a narrow waterway vital to global oil flow. 1/5 of the world's oil passes through daily. Any disruption would shock the global economy. Iran's position gives it leverage, with fast attack boats, missiles, and mines ready to threaten shipping. The U.S. Navy's mission ensure freedom of navigation and deter interference. Warships escort tankers, sending a clear message to Iran. The presence of U.S. destroyers is a powerful deterrent. The military is also prepared for a counter-closure mission: mine-sweeping, airstrikes, and direct combat if needed. Such an operation would be complex and risky, likely triggering wider conflict. The current buildup is designed to ensure the strait stays open. The fate of the global economy hinges on this tense standoff. The world watches these narrow waters with anxiety. The U.S. is determined to keep the strait open at all costs. The stakes could not be higher. With rival forces packed into a small area, the risk isn't planned war, it's miscalculation. A single mistake, an Iranian commander firing on a U.S. drone or a U.S. ship reacting to a perceived threat, could spiral out of control. This is the escalation ladder. Small incidents trigger larger responses. Retaliation can quickly escalate, drawing both sides into open conflict. Communication channels between the U.S. and Iran are limited and unreliable. There's no red phone to defuse a crisis in real time. Misunderstandings and worst-case assumptions can fuel escalation. Non-state actors add more danger. Iranian-backed militias could provoke a U.S. response, dragging both nations into war. Proxies act on their own agendas, increasing unpredictability. The region is a tinderbox with many actors holding matches. The risk of unintended war is real and growing. Both sides are on edge, and the margin for error is razor thin. The world has seen how quickly small sparks can ignite major conflicts. The need for restraint and communication is urgent. The stakes are nothing less than war and peace. The Middle East military buildup is a global issue. The world economy depends on oil flowing through the Strait of Hormuz. A conflict closing the strait would trigger a global energy crisis, soaring prices, inflation, and economic pain everywhere. Beyond economics, a war could draw in Russia, China, and other powers, reshaping global alliances. U.S. focus would be diverted, emboldening rivals elsewhere. The human cost would be catastrophic. Iran is large, well-armed, and proud. War would be long, bloody, and destabilizing, creating refugees and humanitarian crises. The world watches U.S. moves with anxiety. Deterrence is a high-wire act, using the tools of war to prevent war. Clear communication and diplomacy are more vital than ever. The shadows of war gather over the Gulf. Will they dissipate or become a storm? The world holds its breath, hoping for peace. The risk of escalation is real and immediate. The next move could shape the future for us all.